Imagine standing on a marble balcony, looking out over a sprawling, neon-lit metropolis of concrete and steel. Above you, a massive steam-powered airship drifts silently across the sky, bearing the golden eagle of the Senate and the people of Rome. This is not the ancient world of chariots and dust. This is today. For over 1500 years, we have been told that the fall of the Western Roman Empire in the year 476 was inevitable. A decaying giant, crushed under the weight of its own corruption, barbarian invasions, and economic ruin. But history is fragile. It hinges on single, fleeting moments. What if the dominoes had fallen differently? To find the exact moment the world changed, we have to travel back to the year 461. Picture a dusty road near Tortosa, in modern-day Spain. A brilliant Roman emperor named Majorian is preparing a massive fleet to reclaim Carthage from the Vandals. In our timeline, he was betrayed by his own general, Ricimer, arrested, and executed. The last real hope of the West died with him. But in this alternate reality, Majorian sees the blade coming. Warned by a loyal guard, he arrests the conspirators before they can strike. His great fleet remains intact. With a thunderous naval assault, Majorian crushes the Vandals, reclaiming the rich grain fields of North Africa. The lifeblood of Rome is restored. The tax money pours back into the imperial treasury. The empire does not fall. It stabilizes. Now, let the dominoes cascade. Because Rome survived, the event we call the Dark Ages simply never happens. In our history, the collapse of Roman authority shattered Europe into 1,000 warring fiefdoms. Trade stopped. Roads fell into disrepair. Literacy plummeted. But in this surviving empire, the Pax Romana continues. The famous Roman roads remain safe, bustling arteries of trade connecting Spain, Gaul, Italy, and North Africa. The great libraries of the ancient world do not burn. Instead, they grow. But here is the twist. Without the constant threat of total collapse, Roman engineers turn their attention away from survival and toward efficiency. Imagine the brilliant minds of Alexandria, backed by the unlimited wealth of a stable empire. In the 1st century, a Greek engineer named Heron invented the Aeolipile, a basic, spinning steam engine. In our timeline, it was treated as a mere toy. But now, in a united Europe desperate to move troops and grain across vast distances, a wealthy Roman senator funds an experiment to scale it up. By the year 800, the first primitive steam engines are chugging along iron rails laid directly on top of the old stone Roman roads. The Roman Industrial Revolution begins 1,000 years ahead of schedule. Suddenly, the world is shrinking. But a technologically advanced Rome is a terrifying prospect for the rest of the planet. Let us fast forward to the year 1000. Roman ironclad ships, driven by massive steam paddles and clad in impenetrable metal armor, sail out into the Atlantic. They are not looking for trade. They are looking for conquest. Imagine the scene as these mechanical beasts land on the shores of the Americas. The Aztec and Mayan civilizations do not face Spanish conquistadors with muskets. They face highly disciplined, steam-powered Roman legions armed with repeating ballistas and early gunpowder weapons. The Americas are quickly absorbed, renamed Nova Roma. But an empire that spans the globe cannot be ruled by a single emperor in Italy. And that is when everything changes. The sheer scale of this global superpower triggers a massive, systemic crisis. Rome has always relied on slavery to fuel its economy. But with the rise of machines, slaves become obsolete, sparking massive, bloody rebellions across the globe. To prevent a total civil war, the Senate is forced to make a radical choice. They transition from an absolute autocracy to a massive, global federation. Every conquered territory is granted full Roman citizenship. Latin becomes the universal language of global commerce, science, and daily life. English, French, and Spanish never even develop. Instead, a modernized, simplified form of Latin is spoken from the streets of London to the shores of the Pacific. By the 21st century, humanity is not just launching satellites, we are colonizing the solar system under the banner of the Senate and the people of Rome. Mars is renamed Mavers, colonized by red-suited legionnaires. But we must ask ourselves, at what cost? A world dominated by an eternal Rome is a world without the diversity of modern Europe. The Renaissance never happened because the classical world never died. The concepts of individual human rights, democracy, and national identity look radically different, or perhaps do not exist at all. We exchanged 1,000 years of cultural fragmentation and chaotic progress for a single, unbroken line of iron-fisted stability. Would you choose to live in this world of eternal, unified order, or is the chaotic, fragmented reality we have today the very thing that makes us human? If you want to explore more hidden timelines and historical what-ifs that will make you question everything you know about our world, hit that subscribe button right now. Join us on the next journey into the ultimate mysteries of history forgot. Until next time, what path will your mind wander down today?